Hello, everybody. Welcome. What was like it just to get a hello, huh? Huh? Everybody. Welcome. Oh, good. Roses like investigator. So thanks for letting me know, John, because last time it was so creepy, so weird. I pressed it and nobody's I was like for 20 minutes I was talking and now okay, so wow, so good. So thanks for reassuring me at this moment of uncertainty. So okay. Hmm. So drinking, okay, have drinks, have everything. So guys, I hope you're well. Okay. Just not, it's okay if there's not many people. I'm gonna start anyway. Oh, did I have this? This is the wrong thing. One sec. So I'm kind of going through my stuff as I start get ready to kind of almost pack. I'm not, I don't have at the same time that I don't have a ton of stuff, I still have to go through stuff, okay? But you know what I found, guys? Remember the glasses, right? These glasses that there was only this leg. Remember this part? There was only this. And then I found because this is like I have all these little little like red little boxes that I put things in or whatever. Then I don't know with it. But anyway, a while back, like last year maybe, I got this. So I finally found it. I'm happy. Okay, this is like my little. I got this online. It's to repair eyeglasses, and it's for like an eyeglass that I have, and I needed to put one of the things that goes in here. So now I can fix it because I found the other leg. Remember? So that was it. So I'm gonna just to let you know. I was like, oh, maybe it's a sign that things are gonna happen closer. I just need to put a screw, and I'll be. So now I found my kit, my little repair kit. Okay. So anyway, so I'm excited to show you. So excited. So guys, wow. So that's that. I also since I posted this, also what came out is that Jared is in Israel with Ivanka talking to Netanyahu. I want to talk about the image. Okay. So I'm going to talk about that and remind me, okay, if I don't get to it right away. And oh, interesting, guys. For the first time, because I'm shining this very bright light onto the living room, my living area, I guess, not living room, living area. And you see like all my clothes, not all of no, not all of them, I just have some stuff out there, but it's bright. It's probably for the first time you could see the bright background. Isn't it funny? Like it's always very dark because I'm just flooding the light, light with. It was a coincidence. I don't, do it on purpose. Anyway, so okay, so guys, um, okay, one second. Okay, I have the cards here. Okay. So I had wait, where's the candle? Wait, where's the thing? I had the candle. I lit it. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a candle here. One sec. That's the number do protection. So number protection. Um, and what else? So I have this. Okay, so guys, today, so I don't have that many topics today, as you saw, not a ton of stuff, but I want to talk about the economy. So I don't know, probably towards the end. Okay. Um, So you saw that it's a little complicated what I'm going to talk about with the economy, just because there's these things happening, guys. And I don't want to, as you know, I never want to scare anybody. I just want to know what's going to happen in the U.S. There's all these strange movements happening, okay, with trading, and I want to talk about it just to figure out if it's going to affect the U.S. or not. Okay, and it's almost like a little bit technical, but it's not okay. It's just I just want to know what's going to happen to the stock market here. Okay, so okay, and then how it's going to affect the world, you know what I mean? Like it's just because I think, I don't you think there I feel like there's a bubble going on with the stock market. Okay, and this may be the sign that something things might start changing. I don't know, or maybe nothing will happen because everything is very unpredictable these days. So but anyway, I'm going to talk about it. So, and we're also going to talk about, guys, the maybe I should start with that. About you saw that I posted over the weekend, Justin Kennedy, the wife. I just thought I thought I don't know. I really honestly don't know how I got to this. I think you know what it was. I was looking up the wife. I'm like, I wonder who he's married to, and then somehow it came up. This tweet came up in the search where it's an image of the wife of Justin Kennedy, and then it's her Facebook page, and she's clearly MAGA. And this tweet is from her, I think January 2021, and it's very strange, you guys. How that woman. how to me, for some reason, I'm so fixated on the idea that Justice Kennedy did not want to retire. You know, it seemed like very abrupt. Hi to you people. So the Justin Kennedy. Anyway, so I'm just talking about Justin Kennedy and the fact that his wife is MAGA and he's probably MAGA too. He was at the inauguration. I'm just like, I'm really want to know, guys. If you I showed you the page, and if you click on the photo, there's one photo there. Clearly, it's Justice Kennedy with them. So they're still close. You know what I mean? It's not like it seems like there was no rupture. I don't know. Don't you think? I just really want to get to the bottom of this. I would like to understand what's going on. Because guys, the more I read, the more you see that like the other son was also a right winger. Okay. So it's just like you really want to like, you know, you really want to, I really would like to understand what's going on. Why are they, I don't know, guys. Do you feel this way too? Do you feel like, I guess in my the narrative I had in my mind was that he was kind of forced to retire. But but what I'm seeing here is that the sons were behind a campaign to have him leave. The sons were supporting it. Okay, so I don't really know. I'd like to know, get to the bottom of this, because it's, guys, this situation with Justice Kennedy is key to where we are today, to the Kavanaugh mess and everything. So the moment, you know what I mean, the sooner they flip, the sooner they tell us what's going on, the easier it will be. Okay. And just, if you don't know, okay, this is like details. I found this out the other day because I didn't really remember. I didn't really know when. So the Justin Kennedy stopped working for Deutsche Bank in 2009. So, oh, so anyway, so he started working 2009. So it's been a while, okay, but it's been a while since he has worked there. But at the same time, guys, this is the time when, remember when the sons of Trump say, oh, during the financial crisis, nobody wanted to lend us money, and the Russians were the only one that did. Do you remember this? So that is definitely the period of this. And so after he quit, I don't know, he left Deutsche Bank. He still works with lending for commercial real estate. So he's in the same industry, right? So it makes sense that even though he doesn't work for Deutsche Bank, he still needs to be have a good relationship with those people, right? People like Trump. But I just really like to know, guys. Is it okay? I'm completely obsessed about getting to the bottom of this. I find it very important, very important. Don't you think? I don't know. I just find it like, because the last time we looked into this, I saw that Justin actually did not want to talk until stuff starts to come out and indictments come out, and he maybe indicted himself, and that's the only time he's going to talk. But I didn't see him actually wanting to talk. But I really, guys, I really want to know also, let's look into Justice Kennedy and how he sees his children. You know what I mean? Because I want to know, if are we projecting? Are we projecting? I had the impression he doesn't like Trump. And what's interesting, and as you know, I didn't pay much attention to the Supreme Court until after the Trump election. But I'm under the impression that Justice Kennedy was sort of like a moderate. He was not ultra conservative, but the children are, pro Trump. So there's, you know what I mean? It's so strange. The whole thing is very strange to me. I just don't think that he's that, right? He's not like Clarence Thomas or somebody like that. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So guys, okay. So I'm going to start. Okay. Let's do the protection. I like to ask for protection. Bit of a ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. Step into it. Step into it. I feel protected. Step into it. I feel connected. I like to ask that information from the higher sources. Let it create the good, huh? And only the good, huh? Good for the good people. Good for the good people. Guys, because I got burned with wax. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put it away over here. I have my little stones. I have a stone here. Stone to remove negativity. So anyway, So okay, so now as I was saying, I was talking about Justin Kennedy, and I want to start with that, guys, and then towards the end, I'm going to talk about the economy and the stock market and all that. Okay, so let me start here. We'll say so. Why? Okay, first question. I was looking up the wife of Justin Kennedy. It turns out she's a MAGA person. I was shocked, but why? So the whole story. Guys, I just to kind of clarify here, I was saying that I wonder, have I projected, right? Have I thought, I've always thought that this situation of Justice Kennedy leaving, he was pushed to do it. But it sounds like the kids are pro-Trump, which to me confuses me or something. But then as I was telling you guys, whoever, if you guys are coming later, you may not have heard this, that but then of course they have to be in good terms with with the Trumps because if they're in real estate, I guess. Okay. So what is going on? Let me ask you. So what is going on with this story? What's going on? What's the story here? Why? So it's saying here that everybody benefited. Talking about Justin Kennedy when he was at Deutsche Bank, that when he was doing these loans for Trump, he was also making money himself. It's not as if he was like running some nonprofit, right? He was giving him the loans and he was getting like bonuses and so forth. So it's not as if he was forced to like, oh, he was forced to do this, like, oh my God, he had to like do these loans that he would. No, he was not. It was something that he was aware of. He knew what he was doing, even if he was shady, even if all these things. It was kind of an understood thing that it could happen, and that doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like it's almost like everybody benefits from keeping the secrets together. Doesn't make sense. So it's sort of like, if you, because the reality is, if you were to quote unquote rat out Trump, he would rat out himself, right? Because he gave these loans to him knowing that there was something really shady, and that the money did, where the money came from, or either whatever it was, like he knew it wasn't quote unquote kosher. But everybody, he guys, and I see, I saw the image of him, and this is reminding me of visions I had of him before, that he had serious drug problems before. I feel like he could do a lot. He could have done, like, maybe he's probably much better now, but there was a time in the height of all this that he was like I don't know, doing drugs, and like the high finance, making a lot of money and so forth. And so a lot of things were permissible at the time. It's not like it was like, oh my God, I can't believe, it was just like kind of accepted, or people looked the other way, but it was okay. Okay, like it was thought to be somehow okay. So this is why, and it's kind of like this is a secret among friends kind of feeling. Okay, that he was, and it's, guys, this whole thing with real estate is that, as you know, sometimes people leave comments that I'm like, okay, you can look it up, guys. Look up how the structuring of commercial real estate. But basically, the properties are very expensive, as you know, sometimes billions of dollars. But the thing about it is that if you're a developer, you never put in your own money. You always get monies from banks, and then once you sell all the units, you pay back the banks, and you get some of the money yourself, something like that. So whenever when we say, oh my God, Trump owes $300 million, it's not, you know what I mean, like it's not like his own money necessarily. It's because he uses the banks to put down the money so they can develop the property. So there's relatively low risk for the developer, right? It's high risk because, I don't know, it's not for me, but does it make sense? So that's kind of like how you explain it. So, but everybody kind of wins in the end, theoretically, right? So I see that he was doing this with Trump. He was aware of, like, he was part of the gang, basically. Okay, so that's that. Now, tell me why that then Trump goes. I want to know now. So Trump becomes president. So what is Justin Kennedy thinking? Does he think that it's going to be good for him? What is our friends, everybody in the government saying, because he's saying he was called, he loaned Trump. He was involved with Trump's business at the very, almost like the hardest times. He was there for him, quote unquote. And so Trump supported him. It was a mutually beneficial relationship. Okay, I get it. So So then tell me about the discussions. Like how come, okay, tell me about, now let's skip forward to Justice Kennedy retiring. So did he have a conversation with his dad about retiring? Because guys, I was looking it up and there were some articles in the Washington Post around the 2017 saying that Trump was doing a campaign through his sons to get him to this is before he actually retired. So the news was reporting, the credible news, right? It was saying that behind the scenes there was pressure put through the sons on Justice Kennedy to retire. Okay, so that's what. So what was he thinking? What was going on? That's right, guys. It's true. The other brother, his name is Gregory, I believe. He works with. It's very nice. Unfortunately, like he worked with Cambridge Analytica, and he's in technology, so he's close to Peter Thiel, and he's saying that he was part of the Federalist Society, which is the right wing, the legal group, the right wing legal group. So that he was telling him, oh, we're all, it's like all these people are coming up. We're excited about this new era. Greg is the son. Like he's a reveal. Kavanaugh is a good person. They want to change the country. They want to put these new people in, and the father is like, okay. So okay? So tell me how did it happen? So the way that they're like, oh, we want to put the new blood in and we want to put our friends in or whatever, telling the dad it's the new era, the new generation. But why? So this is the thing, guys. I don't understand. Why did he think, what was this push that he had to leave? Did he know what was going on? So I understand, guys. I get what I get here is the Sons are very, they're very active in this kind of shady world of like the right wing politics, lawyers, and that the real estate world. So it happened to be that both of them were connected. Like the Gregory the son connected to the Peter Thiels of the world, and the legal world, and the other one was connected to the financial part of the real estate thing. Okay, so they both, I feel like people around them were telling, like there was like a real effort truly to tell them that this is a new era, everything is changing, and they were presenting it to the dad as if this is like a new era. They were excited about it. But what I see that is interesting here is that the son, that he listens, the Justice Kennedy would listen to them, and he didn't get it that they were telling him to retire. Like they're like, oh, that's interesting. But it didn't occur to him that the point of it was to get him to retire. And he was like, oh, great, that's great, that sounds good, But it didn't occur to him, really. He thought he was like a permanent job, really, the Supreme Court. Talk about permanent. That there was a sense of urgency about it. They were just thought, they was like, oh, it's a nice conversation. It's sort of like a new era. My sons are excited about it, good for them. But there, at some point, there's like this sense of urgency, and that's like he has to leave. He didn't realize it, that he had to leave. But what I'm understanding here, guys, is that the sons believed that ironically the dad leaving would benefit them, because it's sort of like the new era, the new generation. We're taking over, it's our friends, and they're all very excited about it, and it's our, it's our ideology, whatever that is. So, but okay, I still okay, guys, please interrupt me, okay, because I really want to understand. I guess in my mind, let me ask this. So in my mind, I thought that there was that I was imagining that the son thought that there was something wrong with the dad retiring. Is this completely untrue? Is this my own projection? Yes. They were told, there was kind of like there was a whole rehearsal, and it had to happen. And the Trump people, I see Ivanka or whoever was trying to make it happen, knew that they had a way. He was one of the few that had a way. They had a way in, because the sons were so close to this world. And they emphasized that it had to happen. Why? Before is that right, guys? Before the midterm? What time? When was do you remember when the thing happened? I have a feeling it was before the midterm. Is this true? 2018. Do you remember? Like, I don't remember exactly when. So let's see here. I feel like it was postponed. Okay, say Kavanaugh. See here, Kavanaugh Kavanaugh hearing. Let's see when it happened. I feel like it was before there was something about the midterms. Okay, so that's right. September 2018. That's right. They wanted him in before the midterm. And it happened, right? Wasn't it true before? That's right. Say September 28th. So that's right. The November elections. So it makes sense that he had to go before it. So there would be time for the midterm exactly to happen. So there was why, okay, why? Because they had a plan. This whole thing had already been sketched out and worked out that they had to kind of put somebody in. There was a connection here to midterms, or they wanted to influence the courts related to elections. And they had a plan in mind. Okay. So I have a question. So how does, okay guys, how does Justice Kennedy view this whole thing? I feel like I honestly think he was surprised, and he didn't really, I feel like he only got it at the very end, what was going on, honestly. It's not that he's obviously not a stupid person, but I feel like he suddenly, like, he thought of them as his kids, and then suddenly they were almost like taking over, or like getting to his stuff. I don't quite know how to put it. It's sort of like they were like, oh cool, they're talking about it, etc. And then it's like, oh, we want your job. Kind of, it was like suddenly it was like this. That they were not, and I feel like he feels like they don't know who they're dealing with necessarily, but he knows that they're compromised. Okay, so this is interesting, guys. Okay, so now let's go to Justin Kennedy. So what is, guys, but he's, you know what's saying, this is the irony. And you know what, it makes sense. You know how, like, apparently Ivanka, the news were saying that Ivanka would go become friendly with him. Justice Kennedy would go bring her daughter to watch something in the Supreme Court. All of these things because they had, they felt like the fate of Justin Kennedy was tied to the Trump fate. So they thought that, well, we're all in it together. Does it make sense? So that's why she was so confident, because again, they know the darkest depth of the business. And so Trump also, okay, interesting that Trump also felt like Justin Kennedy is corrupt like him in a different way, but he's corrupt because he was right there with the shadiest deals. He knows a lot of stuff. In the same way that he knows about how Justin Kennedy is corrupt, he feels like he can control. This is true, right? Once you get into these businesses, he can kind of control the situation. He has a leverage, literally. He truly had leverage over Justin Kennedy. And I see, guys, and now it's telling me this thing of the the moment when he, remember the image that was captured of Justice Kennedy and Trump talking, and he does something like this. I feel like he's telling Justice Kennedy something about his son, like either doing drugs or being with some women, young women, or something like that. I was in a party and he was sleeping with 3 girls, something like this. Like, he's like, okay, sort of like telling him that I have dirt on your son. I have video, but the way that he is, right, kind of like slips something in, and then it's like, he knew he would be an awkward situation, and that Justice Kennedy would not be able to say anything. You know what I mean? Like, it was planned that it would happen this way. Now, so that's why, guys, it's saying the situation with Kavanaugh, ultimately, they don't want, I feel like Justice Kennedy left. And I feel like now he knows, he's close to his sons, but I feel like the sons want the situation of Kavanaugh to continue because they don't want to be prosecuted. Like, they're afraid of what could happen to them now. It makes sense, right, guys? Because it's saying, unfortunately, that they are very close. Again, they're close to the eye of the storm, which is lending money in this shady ways. The guy is right there writing the checks. And guys, there was one thing that I think Letitia James is looking at. It's Letitia or Cyrus Vance, which is the loan in Chicago. Do you remember this came out recently, that she was also looking at this loan or this property in Chicago, Trump property in Chicago, and the person who did the loans for that property is Justin Kennedy. I remember reading this. Let me confirm. Okay, so let's see, Justin Kennedy, Chicago, Trump. Let's see if something comes up. Okay. Okay, that's right. Let's see what here, 1 second. Find, what is the name here? Kennedy. That's it. Okay. So yeah, that's right. So this is, he's the one who gave the, okay, so this is here connected. I'm going to say, I'm going to add the link here, guys. This is an article from New York Times about this project, the Chicago project. This is in August 2020. Okay. Okay, so how Trump maneuvered his way out of trouble in Chicago when his skyscraper proved a disappointment. Donald Trump defaulted on his loan, sued his bank, got much of the debt forgiven, and largely avoided paying taxes on it. So this is the whole situation, and he is the guy who approved the loan. It was like 400 something millions of dollars. And guys, can you imagine? Let's see here when it happened. So 2008, can you imagine? The financial crisis was in full swing when Donald Trump traveled to Chicago to mark the near completion. So okay, so this is interesting, guys. Imagine, and if you link this back to the whole story of how, I think it was Eric, I don't remember which one was saying that it's the when nobody would give them money, the Russians would. And then we have this. So anyway, so let's go back to going back to the core of it. So why? Oh, that's right, because it's saying, guys, that the reason why they are MAGA is because they were colleagues. Imagine if you work with someone and one of your biggest clients becomes president, then of course you think that you're in it together in some way. And that since he was doing some more corrupt things, he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, to him, he doesn't care. So I have a question. So what is the difference between the sons? You know what I mean? Because guys, I don't know again too much about Justice Kennedy, but he comes across as not a terrible person. But the son is really bad. Okay, you know what I mean? For somebody who is a Supreme Court justice, the son seems really sort of unethical or amoral, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a little, it's not strange, I guess, but it's a lot, it's different. Like, I feel like the sons became very, I don't know, it's just not very, I don't know, guys. Not very. I don't think it's not really what I think of justice. I don't think of the sons. The sons seem like playboys or like privileged and relatively privileged and so forth. So privileged in the sense of, like, it's not because they come from money, but how they treat the world, or how, you know what I mean. Like, it's that kind of lifestyle they had. Okay, so let's see here. What is okay? Why did the sons start? I don't know, guys. This makes sense. I want to ask this question. Okay, I guess the question, I'm trying to figure out the question. It's a complicated question to ask. It's that, how come do why do the Suns? I guess I understand. They see Trump positively because they did business together, but they seems to be very corrupt. So okay, how does okay, I'm gonna ask this. Tell me about the son Justin and the dad. What is it? Because okay, what is the relationship here? Okay, so this, I think this is him. Kind of, he seems fairly balanced. Okay, victory upside down. Assert himself. Okay. I want, this is almost like he had to kind of like lower himself so the son could, okay, let's see what it says. Offer. Oh, foreign. Oh, to go. Offer to go. Offer to go. Oh, this is Ivanka. Could be Ivanka. The lady came and made an offer for him to go. So let's see next. Here, one second. Let me get, guys. As you know, I have shuffling disease. I always I shuffle, but then I forget I shuffle. Then I have to shuffle again. I get like worried that I don't know, I didn't shuffle. So anyway, so okay. So let's see then. So tell me again. Tell me about the son and the dad. Okay. So let's see this one here. Okay, we are. Okay, then we have, okay, yearning. Okay, worry. We're yearning, worry about baby. Okay. Okay. So one second now. Again, I'm gonna shuffle this one. Okay, so okay, look, warmth. Friends, click close. Okay, this is they made a mistake. They messed with the wrong people. That's right. Bad influences. Okay, the vision. Okay, look, the hope led to an ending. To his ending, gift. Oh, gift. Guys, I wonder. Okay, first of all, I think right away, just from the cards, there's a connection to what the card suggests is that this, like, he thinks that the sons live in a fantasy world about Trump, which is probably true. Right here, we have that he was, and then the victory upside down. Like he had to kind of like revert his success. So because the sons were being aggressive, and he had to like give up on something. There was an offer here from abroad, or an offer for him to leave from a woman, which I think is Ivanka. Then we have here now yearning. This is a person like looking at the past, right? So they're like, oh, hopeful. I feel like I think there's, let's see, the hopefulness could be both about the father towards the sons and the sons towards Trump, because we have the yearning and then the worry. Like he sees like, okay, so this is a person yearning, and then he sees somebody's worried about what. Then you have here, what is the card? This is the child, but I feel like interesting. Could be that, what I mean, Trump and his own kids. Doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like he sees that they are like living in a fantasy world in some ways. Okay, now here's the warmth. They're close. They're truly friends. And then, but we have here the marriage upside down. So the marriage, I don't think is necessarily the marriage of the children, but it's the business partners. So they're very close. They love each other, but they're involved with shady people. The hope, again, this card, guys, connects to this one a little bit. This card of like, it's about a vision a little bit, but the hope card is sometimes about a big vision, but it sometimes means like illusion. Oh, you have this big vision, dream vision, and then an end. So the dream ends through an offer or gift. So what it suggests also is that there could be even some sort of financial exchange towards the sons. Like, the son could get some kind of big deal, he still works in commercial real estate, so they could say something like, if you retire, then your son's going to get a really big commission, he's going to get a huge business, he's going to, you know what I mean? So this is like part of their it's a form of bribery in the end, right? Actually, because if he was told, if either he was told or he knew inherently that the sons would get something if he retired, that's in itself a form of bribery. So, okay, so guys, it's very interesting, right? So, but I feel like okay, let me ask a question, guys. Does Justice Kennedy know for a fact that the children are criminal? Like, let's say just the son Justin is a criminal, and is he trying to, what I mean? Does he know, how much does he know about? I feel like, okay, does it make sense? So I feel like how much of it, if his silence has to do with silencing the crimes of the son? Because now that we know more, I can see here that he's actually very close to getting the shady deals done for Trump that benefited Trump. Then it doesn't make sense. Like he would probably want to protect the son and not, okay, so how much does he know about his son's business? Like, does he think his son committed real shady crimes? How does he see his son? Did he do something to protect the son? Okay, aggressive. Oh, painful ending. It's not gonna end well for him. Okay, he's really aggressive, flamboyant. Okay, look, okay, so he went too far. Okay, painful ending, and the fortune's not so good. He was too aggressive, or like the business was aggressive. Okay, this is okay. Okay, so news could be the son or the father here. Okay, and then we have, okay, the news about the son are shady. So he knows that the son, I think here's the son. That if this is the news coming out, stuff comes out, it shows the son is, and he said you would tarnish the reputation of the Supreme Court, truly. Okay. Okay, now loyalty upside down. Okay, president, like this is a quid pro quo. He owes people something. He's like, in other words, the son is indebted to people. Unexpected, interesting. So Trump could have said, "Oh, your son has debts to us." Okay, now, guys, military in this case upside down. It could mean attack, like could be under attack. Okay, this is the ass kisser, but it's also like fake people that are around the son could be the people that present themselves as friends. Although have his letter information. So, okay. Okay, here we have now the good. I think this is Justice Kennedy. Okay, the journey. Look, he packed his bags and had to go. I don't think this is necessarily foreign. He had to pack his bags and go. He made a deal. So does it make sense? So it makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's right. He was exactly on your old. Is that right? Is it okay? That makes sense, guys. Is it okay if am I repeating myself then, Audrey? Like, but I feel like it helps me understand. Okay, it helps me understand. It helps me understand because I still don't now I understand. I feel like the son it lives in a fantasy world. He's compromised. But the problem is that he's pro Trump. Like if I were the son, I would be like never I would like I don't have to say bad things about Trump, but I don't have to promote him. But then it's telling me almost on my ear saying, but Rosie, you don't understand. If he doesn't promote Trump, he doesn't get business. So Trump has some control over how much business the son can get. And he could truly destroy the son's career because the son happens to be working in real estate. That's the problem. That's it. Okay, that's it. It's true. Okay, so then again, the son does need but I think again, guys, I see that is like, what it's telling me? The right keeps saying bad things about Hunter Biden, but Hunter Biden is not nearly as bad as this son Justin. Like Hunter Biden is like a misguided guy working in the private, but he's not. He was not working with Trump. Imagine Trump. This kid is really like what they want to say about just oh my god Hunter, what they want to say about Hunter Biden is what Justin Kennedy is. Okay. He's a really kind of like a shady character, did a lot of drugs and like had a very I think that Hunter Biden is more like a kind of a misguided character, dreamer, more like an artist personality, but then he ends up working in business and like all this stuff. But I think that Justin Kennedy really is that kind of like amoral character. Okay. That took advantage of all those things and like didn't really, got like tasted the high life and okay, so this is it, so that's it, so that explains it. Now this is what I want to say, guys. So why, so are they doing, because I still almost like I don't believe it, but are they saying this publicly to prevent themselves, like to shield themselves from any kind of like, are they pretending to be pro-Trump, or are they really pro-Trump? They're saying no, stop. You're projecting. They're saying no, they are pro-Trump because again they are business partners. It establishes what you have for the interesting. Wow, guys, interesting. So, but it's almost like a Greek tragedy. And the Greek tragedy here is the son is not like the father. Is that the son does not have a very strong character like the father. Okay, that's the problem. And he's saying, guys, because it doesn't mean that he went to a lot of he went to very good schools. The kids I think went to private schools or boarding schools or whatever. But that doesn't mean you have to do shady business out of everybody in the world. You do not have to do shady business out of, what I mean? They didn't have to get into, does it make sense? Or like if he had real ethics, he said, okay, I was working. And I know I talked to somebody, you know, one of somebody I talked to one time said that somebody they knew worked in Deutsche Bank and immediately could tell that there was a problem. Like they smelled it and they left the company. It's right, like they were relatively junior and they left because they could tell there was something shady, so you don't have to stay. The problem is he saw he was shady, he stayed. So when you stay, you see people kind of committing crimes in some way, you stay. That means you're okay with it, right? Okay. So so at which point are they gonna flip, or are they gonna flip? Okay. What's gonna happen next? Okay, does it make sense? So okay, maybe I have another question, guys. What do they know? Because I think this is what I think. The story of Kavanaugh is going to blow up. And as it blows up, the questions are going to come back about what were the circumstances of the retirement of Justice Kennedy. And that's why it's going to come back also about the son. So how is this, okay, how is this going to develop? It doesn't make sense. So okay, so how is this going to develop? Is this going to come out? Is it going to come out that is Justice Kennedy going to make some kind of public? Okay, how is this story going to come out? This is what I like to know. And is Justin Kennedy going to play some kind of role here? Okay, so how is the story of Kavanaugh's confirmation going to come out? And is Justice Kennedy going to? Because I think, guys, he's ultimately And it's not that I'm protecting him or anything, but I do think he's not a bad person, honestly. I don't get a bad sense about him. I just think that he had some shit. The sons are shady, okay? And he was okay. Okay, so but let's see here. So how is this going to develop? Okay, creating defeat. So how's the situation of Kavanaugh going to develop, and at which point is Justin Kennedy? Okay, and pass. Now defeat causes defeat and pass. Okay, quiet. So I see that this is like there's a reversal of fortune, right? Impasse is like they have to decide, and then he's a person quietly, like quiet on the down low, deciding. So it doesn't make sense. It's almost like when the whole thing turns around, that's and he's still like not decided. He's still like, oh, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Okay, one sec. Let me think about it. Let me think about. Okay. And it, guys, and think about it. It's the sad thing is like, if I were in his position, I would immediately just like give up everything, just to go be like a school teacher. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. But to him, it's like, oh, I want to go. I would still want to have my yacht somewhere. I want to go to Monaco or whatever. Like, he cares about that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what he's like. It's so sad. It's what a tragedy. You know, the son is like he's a very shallow person. Okay, older man. Okay, here. Okay, this could be retirement. This is older age. Okay, now treachery could be the job, but also treachery for the ending, right? To create an ending. So there was treachery involved, and what is the card below here? Here and pass. There was treachery involved in how it happened. Okay. Oh, could go to prison. Could go to prison. He's compromised. He's compromised. The big prize is exposed. Okay, and the friend, okay, the fake friend. So the people I see, and I saw before, he has friends that are not really his friends, but the people around him, they were like whispering on his ear that his dad should retire, and these are the people that he realizes are not on his side, but only too late. Okay, he realizes, okay, victory. Okay, the White House upside down. So I think Trump's White House. Also the real estate, this could be because he's a real estate person. There's a deal. Okay, so in order to ensure the victory, there was a shady connection here and there was a deal. I think he's in on it. They decided that this was a time everybody was like, okay, everybody was like psyched about it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, grief and adversity. And then he realizes no. Okay, privately, oh, part fell here. He realizes that is not okay. This could be the wife, or it doesn't necessarily matter. Meetings, okay, so that's it. So I think only too late, because I see, guys, that he's still like delusional. He doesn't want to believe. He doesn't want to believe that you know what I mean? I can, and guys, actually, one of my favorite things is this like analysis of the human behavior. He doesn't want to believe that the father retired to protect him, because in his mind he's a legend. That the British expression, he's a legend in his own mind. Like he thinks it's so great, but it's not really the case. Is that this father wanted to protect him because the guy had basically blackmailed, this is right. And so he's like, oh, now he's realizing that that's what this, you know what I mean? He was basically in denial. He was in denial about what was going on. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So anyway, so, okay, just once. Okay. So guys, yeah. So, okay. So then, okay, so what's the guys, okay, okay, now, okay, is it weird? I feel like I'm so obsessed about this. I need to know. So what is going to happen to first Justice Kennedy? I want to know, is he going to say things publicly? Is he going to make some kind of statement? Are we going to have an investigation into how he left? Okay, while he's still alive. I don't want to know, 20 years on the line doesn't matter, but like, what is Justice Kennedy ever going to go into a situation where he's going to talk to the FBI or whoever, okay, about what happened? Are we going to are we going to hear from him in some way, even indirectly? Are we ever going to hear from him about this or not? What is Justice Kennedy's like attitude in the future about this? Justice, oh, look, justice upside down, first card, okay? There was something shady going on, okay? Okay, money. Oh, wow, factions. So this was decided, kind of like he was like in between. They had already decided, and he was like a pawn in the game. Okay, this is a judge. He's supposed to be okay. Secret. That's it. I have secret. I wrote the book. Imagine he's right. Imagine if no. This is like a really interesting thing, guys, because he could never write. He's like cares about the idea of the Supreme Court, so he can never be like, this is what the shady yellow man told me. The day that he had made a face, I made a face like that. He was talking trash about my child. He can't say that kind of thing. He's gonna go on the View. Hey, hey, no, I guys, can you imagine what if you was your son? What would you do? You know what I mean? Yeah, like no, he's not gonna go on the View, right? So the secret dream letter. Wow. So the secret network, there was information. They had the information. Essentially, they had information about the child. Okay, but I have the question. The question is really if he's going to speak, and this is very specific. It's not telling me this necessarily. Okay, main person, that's him. Okay, that's okay. Main person, the good lady. I don't know. Could be Ivanka, could be someone else. Doesn't matter. But okay, theft. Something shady here. Okay, illness. So this guy, sometimes this card has to do with a person who's under stress has to take a break. So the woman, this could be Ivanka then. Like it could be like, oh, she did something shady to make me have to take some kind of break. There was like essentially, I don't guys, foul play is more like when a person dies, but that's what I feel like. It's some kind of foul play here. Okay, this is the business partner or the wife, but okay. Oh, here it is. The wife, also the kids, right? Look at the kids, the wife and the children, the family, and this is the law guy. Okay, losses. Okay, so he had to pay the price here. Okay, now what else we have now here? Oh, the fun. Now this is the party card, guys. I think the son was involved in party situations. Okay, the foreign stuff during his trips. Okay, blocked. So he would block if that's right, guys. If he'd be retired, they will block this. Okay. So let me ask now. I need to know. So is he gonna talk about it? Is there gonna be a hearing? It's saying only if Kavanaugh leaves. Like he's not, there's almost like a dignity, I guess, to the Supreme Court, but he's not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna do a press conference right now. I need something. I have to tell you something. No, he's not gonna do that. But if it comes to the point where after this whole thing comes out, then he can, what I mean. But he's not gonna trigger the events. He may testify because he's a Supreme Court justice. He's supposed to tell the truth, and he's okay with that. What he's not okay with is like having to create a kind of like a situation, where he's like, I wrote a book. I'm gonna, you can't. You're not supposed. This is like very, very serious and very important to democracy. If the Supreme Court starts to, what I mean, like to be like a kind of like a soap opera, right? There's no end. Okay, so he's saying he can talk about it later, but he does not want to, put the Supreme Court through this in his mind. Okay. So now let's talk about Justin Kennedy. What's going to happen? Because guys, this guy I really dislike it. The more I see it, the more I look at, the more I dislike him. He's a spoiled brat. Okay. So tell me about Justin Kennedy. When is it going to like get real? What is it going to do? Is he going to talk? Is he going to be indicted? What the hell? Message. I have a message for him. Oh, this is like usually has some kind of like legal or an analytical thing. Okay. He can't collect money. So guys, I wonder if they're like your money's frozen. Somebody's investigating you. I spoke to this woman named Letitia. Do you know her? Are you familiar with her? She told me her name is Tish James. She called to inquire about your former employment years. Yeah, we told her what we knew. Huh. That's right. He can't collect the money. So he's like, oh, but I can travel to Monaco. I can't spend the summer in the Côte d'Azur. Oh, I was renting my own yacht. I can't go. I can't go to St. Bart's. Can you imagine the world is like crumbling and that's what he cares about? Like he's not. I'm sorry, I don't like him. Oof. The money, look, the moon is recognizing the moon is like putting the light onto the money. Who find out the money trash? Cut you up. Look, and this is falls on top of he can't collect. He's like, my ATM is not working. What happened? I had 3.4 million that I can't. Now it says I can't withdraw any funds. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, great happiness. He's waiting. Guys, interesting. So he can't collect money. So he's waiting. He was expecting a lot of money. I said, my dad retired. I was like, everything's fine. I was gonna get a lot of deals out of this. I was gonna get a lot of deals. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. He gets prison instead. That's what he is. So he was expecting money. He gets prison instead. Interesting, interesting. Oh, really? It's like what an idiot, really. What an idiot he is. Okay, there he is. He's like, I have a guitar. Let me tell you, I made a song. I made a song about myself. I'm so great. I'm so great. I'm Justin Kennedy. I'm so great. Okay, so there's a conversation. That's it. Though somebody has a conversation with him. Okay, this is counsel. The doctor is like the professional. So he has somebody has conversation. He probably has a good lawyer who's like, listen, ho, sit yours down. Let's talk. Let's talk about what's coming out. Okay, hope. He has hope, really? Loyalty. Oh, oh. Yeah, that's it. Somebody's gonna get, but they offer me some money. So this, so okay, so this is interesting, guys. I feel like again, he is a quid pro quo kind of person, but at the same time, I feel like again, he realizes he can't collect money, and okay, and shit hits the fan. But it's saying, guys, that Letitia James and others are saying that actually, if he were still this, if his dad were in the Supreme Court, it would be harder, be more complicated. But now that he's not in the Supreme, it's actually easier. There's no real. They're saying we don't need to have a kind of like, because it's saying throughout his whole life, because he's the child of a Supreme Court justice, there everybody had gloves around him. Everybody like never, a lot of stuff was covered up because of who his dad was. Okay. And now that his dad is no longer a justice, like he's retired, it's different. So they feel like I think, but he has, people have tried to talk to him. And again, because they think, well, he's the son of the Supreme Court. No, nobody's gonna make him look bad. But now that's the good part is that but I see what's interesting, guys, is that it shows the shift right between, it's not like there's even an indictment, he just goes straight to prison. Okay, but I don't know if he's going to go to actual prison. But it doesn't make sense. It's kind of like it's a big gap between what he thinks he's going to get and what she actually gets. Okay, okay, so let me get us, okay, let's find out. Okay, so what's going on now? Okay, so so is he gonna talk about Trump? Okay, that's what I want to know. Is he gonna read out Trump? Because eventually shit's gonna hit the fan. So what's happening to Justin Kennedy in the next 2 years? Is he gonna, what is it gonna, oh, the tower falls. Okay, that's it. Okay, so things are gonna fall apart. Now it's also, if it says like that he could cause something to happen. So aggression, legally, he could cause things to fall apart as he tries to move on. That's right, he's gonna try to move on, and he's gonna realize the only way he can move out of this is if he takes the whole thing down. Blocked. He's blocked. Problems for him. Blocked by the law. I blocked the line. Law one. Okay, and there's the changes. So the changes happen because the law puts a lot of blocks on him and his practice or whatever he's doing. Oh, sad. He's crying. He's crying. Okay, he's sad. Okay. Oh, interesting. This is good. So this is something that happened for a long time. No longer. So whatever he had before ends. Okay, it's over. Privately, he knows that he doesn't have. Okay, unexpected. So he's still living in La La Land, whatever. Okay, he goes on a trip, unexpected. A lot of money. So yeah. So no, false person. Okay, in the house. It could be the real estate. Okay, lifestyle. So yeah. So this is it, guys. I feel like again, ultimately, he's not a good person. He's a criminal like the others, essentially. And it's gonna go. He's not. And I feel like again, he expects. And it's so interesting, guys. We don't know how these things work, but I feel like if you think of, like, for example, the Trump kids, right? They're like, oh, they think they're so great, um, that they're like entitled, but this Justin Kennedy kid is a whole other level of it. It's old school entitlement, right? Like he thinks that his dad is a Supreme Court justice. Nothing's ever going to happen to him, but it has like he has a patina of respect because of his dad, is unlike the Trump kids. So then he realizes finally the dad can't, and then the dad is like, I can't say, he truly cannot save him anymore, and he's done enough. Okay, so I think it's time. The dad's like, well, you got to pay for the price. I don't think the dad even gets involved. It's just like, really, like I think he's done. He's done. I think the dad realizes he made a mistake by covering up so much for the son. Guys, okay, this is a whole soap opera. Okay, so that's it. So that explains the situation basically, right? Like, okay, so I got to the bottom of it today. Okay, okay. Wow. Okay. Is it okay, guys? It was intense, intense today. Okay. So now I finally feel like I got to the bottom of it. I get it. I get it. Okay, so that's it. So the whole thing they say everything Trump touches dies. It's the same thing. It's like nobody is immune. Once you do, it's like he made a deal with the devil. That's what happens. Okay, okay. So guys, now I need to change the subjects very quickly because there's a lot to talk about. Okay, okay. I'm gonna change the subject. I'm gonna go right to like I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna cover these other questions pretty fairly quickly because I want to talk about the economy. I want to talk about the economy for at least 15 minutes. So, okay, so quickly, okay, let's see here. Okay, which one? Okay, let's talk about this. The story is very strange, guys. The Ivanka Mnuchin and World Bank. This. I first of all, Intercept is a little bit suspect. It's not always like it. There's a weird connection there. I don't know. I don't always trust that publication. So I just idea that there's some kind of news where like Steve Mnuchin is like painted as the good guy. To me, I find it like it's so strange. Who cares, first of all? Like, you know what I mean? Like somehow we're supposed to like step in and think of Steve Mnuchin. You know what I mean? Don't you think it's kind of strange? I find it a little weird. Okay, the story of like Mnuchin is like a good guy. Oh, there comes the hero, Steve Mnuchin. That is the biggest BS I've ever seen. Okay, and it's like obviously, Ivanka would not never. It does not her place to go to the World Bank, but the idea that Steve Mnuchin somehow stepped in and like made it all right. Although he was remember there was like he was doing some deals with Pelosi supposedly like, but I just think that guy is he's as bad as all of the other ones. And the idea that he's like somehow like, oh, he stopped Ivanka from being the president of the World Bank. Oh yeah, but he was also like stealing and like giving his friends, the PPP loans, whatever, right? So what is the story here? What is going on with Ivanka? What is the story? Oh, guys, it's interesting. He's saying that Mnuchin himself. I don't know if it comes from a book, but he's saying that Mnuchin knows that shit's hidden a fan from him. Oh, you know what's interesting, guys? Several things. Several things. He knows that shit's gonna come and gonna hit the fan. Stuff's gonna hit. It's gonna hit the fan soon on him, and that it's interesting because you know how he raised the money for a fund, some kind of hedge fund from the oil Arab states. The kingdom. You know what I mean, like Saudi Arabia, UAE, I think. But I feel like Jared is not does not enjoy the same relationship right now with MBS, but somehow Mnuchin still has a good relationship with them. And that he knows that Jared could also be plotting. You know what I mean? It's like it's an intrigue thing, and he wants to like kind of paint a picture that he's like doing something good, and he's not doing anything good. He's just like Machiavellic in his own way. Okay, so, but it's like I think it's minimal. Okay, I don't think that Ivanka would really be the president of the World Bank. I just think that like this is like a preparation for some kind of like very bad PR that's coming his way. So what's happening with Steve Mnuchin? Why this story? The country upside down. Okay, the family. Oh, he did something good. Oh, yeah, he did. Hmm. It's coming out. So something's coming out. So okay, so here the deal. Has a deal? You don't have a deal. Deal ought to be a witness. Interesting. Interesting. Witness about Trump. Oh, he made a deal. Really? Okay, this is the key sometimes. Okay, so important, very important deal for the child or for Trump. I think it could be. Let's see if he's gonna do something more. Okay, idea. That's it. He's gonna talk. Ideas in court. That's it. Thoughts court. I'm gonna spill my guts. I'm gonna share what's in my brain. I'm gonna share my ideas in court. Yeah. Gloomy thoughts. He has gloomy thoughts. So he's preparing. He's telling them. He's like, bitches, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk. Okay, hopeless. He's feeling hopeless. Okay, the bit interesting. The bit interesting. Wow. The mob. He's hopeless because the protector of the mob is like, Steve, what you doing, Steve? You want to fall from a building or something? Do you want to fall from a tall building? Do you want to get Russian flow, Steve? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to fall down from a building? Huh? Here is like, oh, hey, okay. Again, ideas, guys. Ideas sick. Interesting. Okay, the one upside down. So, wow. So that's it. I think it's Ivanka. He's trapped. So guys, he's like he thinks that this is his way out. He's guys, is he gonna really talk shit about Trump? Not talk shit. He's gonna testify. Is he really gonna testify about Trump? What's he gonna do? Yeah, I think guys, wow, this is pretty big here. Okay. And I see, guys, that it's saying that Trump himself understands the significance of this article. He knows that only Mnuchin could have said the things he said on this article, the things that were revealed, and that he is a signal to Trump that he's gonna talk. Okay, so this is like was a message to Trump also. Okay, and he's under a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, and he wants to like come out as the good guy. Oh, interesting, interesting. That they're going after him because of the what is it called, like the PPP investigations and so forth, and he is willing to talk. So interesting. Actually, more interesting than I thought. Okay, now let's go back to other things. Okay, so now, guys, you saw just a quick news about the Austrian guy who he was very young prime minister he was, but he ended up resigning. I remember when it came out, I even did an episode just about the Austria situations, 2018. It was a recording that came out about the involvement between his party or whatever and like the Russians. It was pretty interesting. So now he's down, going down. So, okay, so I'm going to do a quick question about the debt ceiling. Then I'm going to do the submarine, and then I'm going to do the economy. Okay, so now tell me about the debt ceiling. So Mary had this question the other day. She asked, like, what is going to happen to the debt ceiling in December and the Republicans versus? Yeah, I see, guys. Almost like it's so weird. I see this smoke, like almost like something. It's not burning, but like then I see like Mitch McConnell, like this. He's upset. He's like he has to give. He kind of gives in. Okay, and I see that then that, but it goes to the very last second or something. Like they have to turn back. They have to avert the big crisis because the Republicans are going to again push until the very last minute so that they can crush Biden. And again, the economy people, the business people are going to step in and try to like, and he's going to lose. Okay, so let's just double check. So what's going to happen about the debt ceiling in December when it comes back again? I see that. Okay, so planning. Okay, so the okay, now this card is like the not okay, not celebrating quite yet. Okay, so long term stability choice. Okay, about for the election or choices. Okay, they want again. They're thinking of the election, like Biden's like, oh, let's create stability. They're thinking of the election. They're putting us. There's a snake there. They're gonna try to like ruin things because of the election. Now there's a deal. The meeting does not go again. They sabotage the meeting. It's a facade. It's a bullshit. The same thing. Oh no, yeah, we're gonna cut a deal. No, they don't. Contempt. Okay, the man. I don't know. Okay, unstable. So the whole thing is too unstable, and again, it's guys. The whole. We're still in the middle of it. I can't believe we're still dealing with these people. Oh my god. Okay, sad news. The court. Okay. Okay, regarding Trump. Sad news about Perazana. No, maybe here indictment about sad news about Perazana. Ah, somebody got letter, received letter from about Perazana. So again, I think it's going to be dramatic, but I think ultimately Biden, it's not going to be, guys. It's going to be tough, just like it has been, but it's going to be solved. I don't want to say resolved, but in the end, they're not going to be able to make the government to everything crash. Okay, like they want to. Okay. Now, okay, so that's that, right? Okay. So how's guys again? I don't know. I talked about no Adam Schiff. I did not talk about Adam Schiff last time. We talked a lot about the subpoenas and so forth. But Adam Schiff, you know how he was really wanted. He was really a great person doing these impeachments and so forth. But he's pushing for it and he's gonna win. I see them like him winning like this, so it's gonna be good. Okay, now let's talk about now. There's 20 minutes left. Oh, guys, no, one quick, sorry, one more topic. Now, this is just interesting. I just want to do it quickly. I think I'm going to talk about it more another day. I feel like this has legs, okay? But it's the story that U.S. Navy nuclear submarine engineer has been indicted on espionage charges. So this story is a little strange, guys, because this guy, he was an engineer, like he was not in the military, but he was giving all this information about submarines, which is very it's very important. Okay. It's a very serious national security issue. So the weird thing is that he writes like this is a very to become an engineer, you cannot be that dumb. But he writes these letters saying, "Oh yeah, I have secrets. Call me 1-800 secrets. I have 1-800 Navy secrets." So he would just randomly contact this country, and the FBI indictment does not reveal the country. And so what's interesting is that the country contacts the FBI because I guess he went to the embassy. I don't know what, like he was like that. And so the FBI impersonates, pretends to be a person from that country. Okay. They even pay him and so forth. So there's speculation online that the reason why the FBI didn't name the country is because it's an allied country. So much so that we went to the FBI and ratted him out when the guy wanted to, sell them secrets and so forth. So but I remember I went on the Washington Post and I left some comments saying that those people, who knows the reason? It's because it wasn't even that much money. It was $100,000. But if you're an engineer for a submarine, you don't make so low. You know what I mean? Like it's not worth the risk, right? $100,000. Like what is the reason here? And I said that there's so much injustice that they look at Jared Kushner, they look at everybody getting away with it. They think, oh, look at Trump, look at Jared, everybody does it all the time, right? They must be so normal that they just think they're gonna, right? That to me, that's what I feel like. It's like they see the top people getting away with everything, so why not try? This is the time. If you want to be today country, I'm today country. No big deal. Look, a president does it. Why can I do it, right? Like so, okay, so I just like to know quickly what's happening with these people. Why do they do it? And what does this mean for, for like, because really, guys, I think if somebody, even Jared, had already, Jared should be in prison right now. Okay, I'm sorry, I know I'm patient, so forth, but when those people see that everybody gets away with everything, that's what they must think. Oh yeah, look, Jared is very dumb. I'm not as dumb as Jared. Jared got away with it. Why can't I get away with it, right? So, what is the reason? Tell me what's going on. And it's saying, guys, I don't know, honestly, it could be either China or Israel. I don't think it's Russia. I think it's like a country that he even knew people. You know how so sometimes if you do kind of like a scientific academic disciplines, a lot of people who are working on similar things that you kind of know of the people. So he knew the countries that were developing something like this. So he was upset that he didn't get a job he wanted, or like he didn't get there was something he wanted he didn't get professionally. So he thought, you know what, I'm going to guarantee my retirement. I'm going to sell some secrets. And then I see him like going the internet with his wife, because the wife was involved in this too, like, hey, look at this, we can move there, isn't it nice? Oh yeah, oh yeah, sure. Wow, huh, look at that, wow. And they're telling the kids, we're going to move to a different country, because one of the things they said, oh, please, when we tell you the secrets, just make sure you get us out of here. So they were living this fantasy, like, oh look, we're gonna go move there. Oh wow, it's just like just like James Bond. Yeah, oh yeah. So again, it's this idea that like they can kind of like, can you imagine, like seriously, you would think a promotion. So like, hello, hi, I have some secrets here. Like it's so this whole thing of military, I don't know, imagine like knowing how to like build some stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't want to know. It's very complicated, right? So it's not like you can think about it in your mind. It's like, whatever. Michael Flynn, come on, Michael Flynn. Obama fired him. Yeah, I don't agree with Michael Flynn 100%, but he has a point. Michael Flynn, there he is. He's like celebrated everywhere. He makes a lot of money. Why not? I'm entitled. I'm entitled to like a good retirement. You know what I mean? So, honey, we're gonna, we're saving up money. We're gonna get a retirement. We're gonna get everything going. It's kind of like, so again, guys, there's this weird, like, it's so bizarre. It's like, imagine again having some issue that you didn't get promotion. Then the next step is like, oh, I'm gonna be today country. I'll be today country every day. Everybody be today. And that's how it is. How like this is the argument for all these immoral people who say, well, but somebody was, it's sort of like, it's kind of like, those people say, oh, but how come I have to go to prison? But such and such did this and they didn't go to prison. Why do I have to go to prison? Nobody goes to prison. So it's kind of like, so I guess again, guys, this environment of injustice where, okay, guys, you don't have to be some kind of like a counterterrorism expert to see that Jared did. Okay, you know what I mean? This isn't the news. This is like public domain information. We read many articles that said like Jared, goes to Saudi Arabia. 3 days later, there's a coup, and he gives names. He gives names to people, and then they die or whatever. They get arrested or something. Like we saw this, we read about it, and then people like that's it, nothing happened. Like, oh no, nothing's ever gonna happen. Nobody went to prison. Look at Mueller. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're paranoid. You're paranoid. You're paranoid. Huh? Do you ever see anybody go to prison? No, it never happens. Do I look like I'm going to prison? Whatever, just some instructions how to make submarines. Do you think is it gonna be helpful to people? Whatever, just some instructions. I didn't come up with them. I'm just like, I just got some document, I made a copy. So this is this work, guys, is saying that I'm okay. I'm not saying that obviously it's Trump's fault that this person decided to like betray the country, but it's an environment where they feel like they can, people who want to do bad things, they can get away with anything. That's how they think. Even if the guy doesn't like Trump, I don't necessarily think this guy is a Trumper. He's just more like, whatever, nobody gets away with it. Don't worry about it. Every day we read about PPP loans, like look at those people. I mean, everybody stole money. Everybody did things. They do it all the time. So then they decide, because nobody goes to prison, right? They see that nobody goes to prison. Everybody's out there. So that's why. So they did it, and then they all caught. Okay. So let's just see here, guys. Okay. So again, bad deal. And I see that this is there is I think, guys, honestly, my sense is that it's more common because they see again, this is like, again, they had a shady deal, didn't quite work. He's like, illusions. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a big mansion somewhere in Finland or something. Oh, I'm moving there. I'm gonna have a new identity. I'm gonna have like, I want to have more like a different face. Huh. I'm gonna get a different face. And they're gonna recognize me. Nobody's gonna recognize us. Forget about it. Telling him, we're gonna get a new face. We're gonna have a new body. We're gonna go somewhere else. Start over. So again, money behind the scenes. Okay, for the family. So I think, again, maybe they didn't have enough money, or they wanted to have to make, but it's like so stupid. Okay, love. Oh, well. Okay, messenger upside down. So, but love usually means values. So there was like a value issue here. Again, the shady business. So he's like, I need more money. So why not? Why not? Okay, justice caught them. Caught them, the group. Okay. The wife is in troubles. Oh. Changes. Something changed with the plan? Didn't work, huh? You got a letter instead. And he's saying, guys, they were already planning. They're like, oh yeah, I want to go do this, do that. And like all these plans, and that didn't work. You were indicted instead. Huh? Listen. Hmm. So so anyway, so this is it. Okay, so interesting. Okay. Anyway, so that's the story about this guy. So yeah, so in other words, yes, this climate of injustice encourages people to commit more crimes. Hello. Okay, so anyway, so now let's go to the economy. Finally, I keep postponing because there's so much to talk about. Okay, so guys, the economy. Let's talk about the economy now. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you the articles I talked about. So this is a little bit complicated. I made it complicated, but so two things that I'm seeing about what's going on in the markets that I think it's a little. That's why I don't want to say I'm worried, but I want to talk about it. So there's one thing going on in China. Okay, that this Chinese real estate company called Evergrande has defaulted on $300 billion, okay, on like a bonds or something, bond payments. They sold, okay, so they're defaulting 300 billion, and then what's happening is that the Chinese government is not bailing them out. Okay, so what happened in China is, it's like, is the most populous country in the world. So they're like building all these like hundreds and like all these huge tall buildings everywhere, but people are not moving into them. So it becomes worthless, right? So, but the thing is, probably they were like, the growth of China is so exponential because of the population is enormous, right? It's like a billion, like how many, 1.2 billion, I don't know, crazy numbers of people. So like everything there grows dramatically. But they built and built and built almost like in a kind of capitalist kind of way, but there is no real market for it. Okay. So then there's all these empty buildings and nobody's buying these apartments and nobody's moving there. So there's this default of $300 billion. So $300 billion is a lot of money, guys. I don't even know. This is just one company. And apparently there's another company, another real estate company that's already going through the same thing. Not as big as Evergrande, another one. They all have these like weird names, like grand, like, big, whatever. Evergrande, always big until too big. Is it too big to fail? So again, the guys, the Chinese government is not bailing them out. So what could happen? Because what we know here, of course, that when the banks were going down, going under, that America rescued the banks. So like in some ways, it kind of prevented a lot of things from getting worse, I think. But China is not doing that. Okay, so like, but the problem is that the whole guys, the thing with this, I don't it's not an area that I'm particularly, it's not my specialty honestly. But what happens in the world of finance is that debt is bought and sold. So you buy let's say you buy the bonds of these companies for cheap. Okay, and then you hope they're gonna, but once they start to default, you lose everybody who lent money to this bank, and maybe beyond China. I don't know where what is going on here, where the money comes from, because 300 billion is a lot of money. um Everybody's going to go under. Okay, so think about it. 300 billion going under, it's a lot of money. And as you know, what happened in the 2008 is the derivatives started, like, okay, people started not being able to pay their mortgages. They were the subprime mortgages, right? Anymore. They couldn't pay the subprime mortgages. So they started to default in the housing. And when they default on the housing, the derivatives, which is these financial instruments that were sold on top of whatever that they had, started to go down as a result as well. Does it make sense? So everything is kind of like a domino effect. So now we're seeing that instead of the little people that happen here in America, like going under, is those developers like Evergrande, who's now, you know what I mean? So to me, it feels a little bit familiar. Okay, the situation in China has some, I'm not saying that it's going to happen here, but there could be a ramification here. And you can see that China is doing a lot of, like, people are complaining about it, but some of it I actually agree with. They're starting to like to curb on, like, for example, private education companies. They're starting to, like, they see that there's like a wild west thing going on over there, and they're like, if we let this stuff go on, the fall is going to be bigger. So you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like the Chinese government is actually pretty down to earth in some way. I think they seem to know what they're doing. I don't think they're doing it because the right is saying, oh, they're socializing, privatizing. I don't think this is necessarily true. I think they're seeing the economic downfall possibilities of stuff like this. The education is a little different because, again, I think they want to, I don't know, it's like some kind of foreign thing or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? This real estate situation is very serious, and they're kind of like, they seem to have an idea. They want to kind of isolate. I don't know what's going on here. We don't know yet what's going to happen. Okay, but that's the story, and this is there's some parallels to 2008. Okay, now I told you this part one. Now the second article that I told you about, that I linked here, is very interesting. Is about this cryptocurrency thing called Tether. This is like the whole cryptocurrency thing is very complicated to explain because they don't even understand it themselves. Honestly, I think it's a huge. I think most of it is a giant scam. So what happens is that, like, these pseudo currencies claim to be backed by the dollar. They create, like, you can create some kind of fake money and say, oh no, it's back. Don't worry, it's back with the dollar. I have reserves. Because what happens in banks is that they're supposed to have reserves. Like, you put your money in the bank, right? Your salary, whatever. They're supposed to have the actual dollars in the bank. It's not supposed to be just a number on the screen. It's supposed to exist, right? So so they sold people these these whatever cryptocurrencies, but nobody can really locate where the reserves are. Part one, not all of it. They can really locate some of it, but all the reserves on it is like Bahamian banks, like offshore shady banks. Part one. Okay. Part two is that there's this Tether cryptocurrency is almost like a is the means through which people who buy Bitcoin, like you kind of have to buy, if you, let's say you want to buy Bitcoin, usually people in other countries or many countries, they buy Tether so that, because that's easier to share between banks. I don't quite understand. So it's something like you have to buy, if you want to trade in cryptocurrencies, you buy tethers because then you can easily buy them instead of having to like transfer money into big, I don't quite understand. But so it's very widely used in the crypto world. But the problem is that AG James, she sued this company because they said that the back, there's a fraud going on where they don't really have the backing. They don't have the money they claim to have. And number two, there's a lot of, I think there was some kind of fraud. It's like a Ponzi scheme. Okay. So, but the thing is, I saw a graph one time. There was an article, another one that came out, I didn't link because it's complicated, that shows how this cryptocurrency, the movement of this cryptocurrency Tether changes the price of Bitcoin. It's kind of basically, um, how do you say it? It's dominating the movement of Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin. So there's something really not just fraudulent about it, but it's so in other words, the fraud is huge. And this market of cryptocurrencies, most of it is high. There's a lot of criminals involved. Most of the world, whenever you see a hacker asking for money, they always ask for cryptocurrencies, right? So there's a lot of shady money involved in this, and there's a lot of manipulation. That's what I wanted to say. But one of the things they found out is that so let's say you buy this Tether currency. The people who make the Tether, they go ahead, they take your money and they invest in something else. Instead of leaving it alone, they said, oh, we can make money from this money that people deposit with us. So they buy, one of the things they do is they buy Chinese paper. Okay. So in other words, they buy the debt of companies like Evergrande. So this investigation, they found that they had not exactly bought the Evergrande debt, but they have bought another Chinese paper thing. So does it make sense, guys? So what you see is that once things start to go down, usually people make a lot of money. This is the other thing. People in finance make a lot of money on high risk. But the problem is that one day the high risk flips and everybody goes down. It starts to like people, the ones that make a ton of money, suddenly either they exit before the whole thing falls, or everybody, people start going down, going under. So there's a relationship, even if it's distant, between the cryptocurrency shady world and like these like buying and selling of Chinese debt. So so does it make sense? So what I'm saying, guys, is that I wonder, my question is this going to eventually affect the US stock market? Because a lot of like the cryptocurrencies, the banks are abroad, shady banks, but it's just it's a very big thing, guys. Okay. So this is what I like to know. Is this going to affect the US stock market somehow? Because the other thing they're saying is that the US government could shut down Tether and therefore shut down 70% of the movement of Bitcoin. Okay, which will be huge. But the thing is, I know that Bitcoin is very big among the right-wing people. So I don't mind it because I'm like, oh, you know, so at least it's the very, but there's small people who believe this kind of stuff and they may get hurt. So what's going to happen? Tell me about the American stock market, cryptocurrencies, and the Chinese debt. So it's saying, guys, is that I see that there's literally the dominoes falling, but there's a wall, like something, part of it is prevented from, but it's saying that it's going to clean up the froth. So we know how it's, in other words, there's a lot of the market is fairly overheated and there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of bullshit. People say, oh, buy this, and buy that. So it's possible that it could wipe out the froth, but I don't think it hurts. Like, I don't think it hurts the average person, honestly. I think it hurts the people that engage in highly risky investment. Okay. So a lot of these people that really bet on the, all the way with the crypto thing, if they're not smart about it, if they didn't think through this, it could hurt them. Okay. So it's saying that it could wipe out a lot of the fraud. So, but I don't see, no, I don't see that is necessarily a bad thing, because yeah, so it's not so bad, honestly, because it's saying that if there's fraud connected, you know how it's saying there's a lot of times like with Enron and those kinds of things, it was a fraudulent company, but Enron did not wipe the entire stock market, right? It's like whoever was involved with Enron went down, but not in like, but not the entire stock market. So sometimes it's a good thing that this is a sort of like a cleaning up of the fraud or the gung ho stuff that was going on. That they were saying it's gonna trigger regulation, which is good, because there's a lot of fraud going on. Okay. So okay, so sorry, all of this, guys. I'm sorry. Did I go? I went around. It's like so complicated. Just to tell you this, I could, I should ask first, and then because I need to. Did you get? Is it? I think it's very. It's even It's very complicated. I don't get it. I don't get a lot of it, but that's okay. So here it is. The construction. Okay, they have the money. So there's a changes going on. Changes going on. The groups, the health. Okay, the groups are corrupt. The people who are manipulating prices. Okay, but they're connected by these values. Okay. Okay, theft privately. They're okay. Oh, then they have a letter. They could be indicted and so forth. Okay, so this now interesting. This is a card of the young person who's inexperienced, so they may get hurt. They figure out that the whatever they had was fake or worthless. Okay, there's one. I wonder if it could be this James. Oh, she has a letter. Information's about about this. So okay, some people made money from this, and they're gonna track down whoever did. Okay, so this is it. It's essentially it's gonna curb down the Wild West situation. But I don't see. So this is good. It's good news. Okay, honestly, I was worried. I was worried. I was worried, but I'm glad it's not so bad. But it's saying that this is gonna, whatever the argument is for like not creating regulation, it's gonna kill the. It's gonna be very good for the Bitcoin. Oh, interesting. That's right. Is that, yeah? So it's very interesting, guys. It's so shady, this whole thing. I think, if you guys, but I think it's probably true with everything. If you have like millions, hundreds of millions, if you can buy a lot of anything where you can almost manipulate the price or like track the movement and you can make a ton of money, it's great. But if for a small person, because that's what they want everybody to buy this so they can exit. This is the scheme, the how what is it called, Ponzi schemes work, right? They want somebody to buy it so they can sell it, but it's not okay. So it's not going to work so much. Okay. Okay. So interesting, guys. No, interesting. So this is it. So I'm glad. And he's saying that it's actually going to be good for Biden, guys, because whatever scams are exposed. And Biden, he said, he made a statement the other day. He wants to go after what the so-called stable coins, which is this Tether thing is. It's supposed to be a stable coin. Like it's backed by the dollar, it is. It's back. No, it's not. Bullshit. Okay. So this is good because it's going to strengthen the position of the average, you know what I mean? Like it's like, let's stop with this whole casino mentality where you can fool people, and you know what I mean? So this is good. This is going actually ultimately is going to be good. It's a correction that needs to happen, but it's going to only happen in the froth area. Okay. It's not going to affect most of us. Okay. And it's actually going to be better for the most, because everybody's going to go back to the more secure types of equities, and they're going to like stop, it's going to be bad for the ultra high risk kind of thing. Okay. And it's going to be bad for the right wing people that are behind a lot of it. So anyway, so that's oof, oof. Okay. So this is it, guys. Oh my God, I talked for hours today. I was like hyper, I was talking, but it was good. I like it. I like it. A lot to talk about today. But guys, I have a really good feeling about things. I don't know. I don't know if you feel what I feel, but I'm feeling good. But the thing is, like, I'm not even looking at the news too much. Do you see every day they bashed Biden so much? By the way, did you see George Clooney? He was supporting Biden. He said that Biden has been attacked too much and it's unfair. So this is good. Okay, this is good. So I like it. I like it. They're trying so hard to bash Biden. It's not going to work. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So this is it, guys. Okay. So again, if you, yeah, I don't know. Don't worry too much. Okay. Now I feel more, I feel better, because I was worried something like 2008 is going to happen again, but I don't think it's going to be like that. It's just going to be for the people that are like doing their high risk situation business. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So So it's very nice. It's very nice today. Okay. And we'll talk again on Wednesday. We'll talk on Wednesday. I didn't ask. There's a few couple more questions, but I'll ask more on Wednesday. Okay. All right, guys. Okay. All right. So have a great evening, and I will talk to you on Wednesday. Have a great evening. Have a good couple days. Okay. Talk to you Wednesday. Love you. Bye.